11-14 at 2026. Men's ice hockey down to the quarterfinal stage now. Finland. They were second in the group.
All right, everybody. John here with you. Trying to get the recorder set. It is a Wednesday, February 18, 2026. How's everybody doing out there today? We do have a development happening in the men's quarterfinals today. We were with you for the playoff qualifications yesterday. Slovakia did beat Germany 6-2. Germany's probably been the most disappointing team of this tournament. They are out. Again, we watched Slovakia in that opening game against Finland, beat them 3-1. Now, Slovakia is going to advance to the semifinals. Today, we're going to be in action between Finland and Switzerland, but I am keeping an eye on the second period action of Canada and Czech Republic. If that game stays close enough in the third period, we are going to intervene live and cover that all the way through. Right now, it is 2-2 between Canada and Czech Republic. Nathan MacKinnon has just scored a power play goal. It was a soft one on Dvorsky from a cross-check, and it allowed Canada to score on the power play. So that's where they are. They're getting set to end the second period. Players are making their way to the ice, the Sumiskad and the Swiss. I have not covered the Swiss yet this time in the tournament, but their goaltending for Leonardo Giannoni out of Zug, he's one of the best international goaltenders we have in the entire world. Yes, he's getting long in the tooth at 37, 38 years old, but he's essentially a brick wall in net. And what you could see, I emphasize, that Finland falls in that same fate they did against Slovakia in that opening game where they get goalied. Remember, Haravel did the same thing in that first game that we covered. Giannoni could definitely do the same. So, former NHLers, again, Sven Arrighetto, Christoph Berchi, Kevin Fiala. Unfortunately, he's done for the year, so he will not be on the roster. They still have Nico Hischier of the New Jersey Devils, Philip Kurashev, former Toronto Maple Leaf Dennis Mulligan, who's playing for Zurich, Timo Meier, Nino Niederreiter, and Pius Suter are the ones that you'll know. Tim Burney had spent some time internationally. You got Roman Josi on the DN with Janis Moser and Jonas Siegenthaler, Dean Kukin. Giannoni will be the goaltender of record. Juuse Saros will one more time be the goaltender of record for Finland. As far as my notes, I should have that listed there for Juuse Saros. So we kept that there as we expected. And for the Finns, again, they are loaded. This is where they should have the advantage over the Swiss, but you never know. Joel Armia, Sebastian Aho, Mikkel Granlund, Eric Haula, Roope Hintz, Keppo Kakko, Oliver Kapanen, Joel Kiviranta, Artturi Lehkonen, Anton Lindell, Eetu Luostarinen, Mikko Rantanen, Teuvo Teravainen, Eli Tolvanen, all NHLers. Miro Heiskanen, Henri Jokiharju, Mikko Lehtonen is the only one on the ZSC Lions. Esa Lindell, Limata, Nicholas Montepallo, the Ottawa Senators, Niko Mikkola, and Rasmus Andersson. So just one non-NHLer on defense. And then you have Juuse Saros, Jonas Korpisalo, Kevin Lankinen. Don't know who's going to be the backup today. But all NHLers except for one defenseman on the Finns, they should have the advantage. But again, in that opening game one that we saw against Slovakia, they got goalied and lost 3-1. It could certainly happen again with Giannoni on the other end. Again, I covered him in the Worlds when the United States ended up winning with Tage Thompson. Now he's on the Olympic squad. The U.S. will be in action a little bit later today against Team Sweden. That'll be at 3:10. I will not be able to cover that game because of family plans. We're doing this one now. We're going to try to get it under the gun. Looking forward to this contest. And the Swiss have the all-white jerseys with the black pants and red stripes. The Finns have the Sumi patch and the mix of the dark blue and turquoise all the way through. As this is played in off the back pass to Miro Heiskanen, he is able to get it out for Granlund. Again, you got a lot of the Finnish mafia on the Finns from the Dallas Stars. Granlund was one of those that was picked up last year. He did not stay all the way through. And again, if you're just joining us, it's a 2-2 game between Canada and Czechia. Again, they're playing much, much better than they ever did throughout the tournament. If that one goes all the way through, we will go ahead and leave those numbers across and take it away. So that'll be a little bit later throughout this, but I want to make sure I cover this game as much as I can. 19-12 up to go on the first. We get our first stoppage. Switzerland has the first shot of the game. It will be an O-zone draw for the Swiss. Try to see if they can take it, I believe, against Anton Lindell. As this will be won by the Swiss. Played up off the backhand. Try to throw it toward Juuse, Saros. And now Eetu Luostarinen, member of the Cats. He gets sweep checked away and then knocked down toward the bench. Good play there for Angrigetto. Try to get this one ahead. As this will be recollected near the left side red line. He picked up now toward right side turnaround chance. That one will get blocker to side. As this will be settled back down. Kibihari, you had it for a moment. We'll see if I can go ahead and get Ian back in here. Should be all good to go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So 18-25 left to go on the first as this one's flipped in. Swiss will chase. Pick this one up off the back skate. Again, they're going to have to play without Kevin Fiala for the rest of this Olympics as far as it goes. As Angrigetto, Niederreiter gets roughed up against the right side inboards as this puck is pried loose. And the high slot now for the Swiss. That shot goes off the outside of the cage away from Juuse Saros. Picked up off the back pass now. Main opportunity for Glosser on the point. Throw this back around again one more time. Again, just one shot on goal here for the Swiss, but we are keeping in mind that if we get to the third period and it's still close enough, we will flip to Canada-Czechia. I want to try to get everything else that we can in today. Should be able to cover this one full marks. Niederreiter goes back to the point, but that one's wide and sent back down. As this will be started one more time for Leonardo Giannoni. Again, I talk about it in the open, covered him a little bit in the Worlds, and he is one of the very best net minders that we have in the entire league. I got to reload my feed. I apologize. I hit the wrong button, so give me 10 seconds. Yeah, we just ended the break between Canada and Czechia. That one's tied at dose. So we'll keep that monitored as we go across. We have 3 minutes expired from the first in a scoreless game as this goes down to Juuse Saros. They'll stop this back at the point. Pull back up this Finnish roster here. Again, all but just one are NHLers as Knack will throw this one down for Switzerland. We'll have to start again from left to right. Again, a good check off the play, but that should be interference. And it looks like Finland is going to go to a very easy part, but a little pick play that you would see in basketball, that is not allowed. And that is going to take Damian Riat of Hussein and put him in the box at 16:47. So Finland's going to get their first power play. 25% on the power play, 2 for 8. Heiskanen throws this one across the bumper to Mikko Rantanen. It's Roope Hintz. You got a lot of Dallas Stars out there right now. Rantanen, it's Granlund. You got the entire Finnish Mafia back there. As Heiskanen, Kjell Granlund, high slot Heiskanen, Ripper. That one gets blocked. Really hurt one of the Swiss out in front. Very slow to get up and hobbling to the bench. Looks like Pius Suter. So he got absolutely all of that 95-mile-an-hour slap shot from Miro Heiskanen, and he will work his way to the bench. This one played in front of Juuse Saros, and Finland, again, still going to work on their first power play. Miro Heiskanen try to get this one ahead for Granlund. Granlund now slows the left side blue line, friendly entry across the left bumper. It's played in across the wall. Sebastian Aho now to the right side point, as it's Mikko Rantanen. He's on the right side red line here as this puck is stuck against the glass. Now Roope Hintz try to find it. Swiss doing a great job just killing some time, and then they're able to stick check this out to the left side red line. As this will start again one more time. Finland got to get back on side with Roope Hintz. Granlund off the touch. Rantanen still out there for their top unit. It's been all of 90 seconds as this will be flipped back down the ice. Right to Juuse Saros. Again, the numbers there for Saros, Korpisalo, and Lehkonen throughout the tournament in the regular season have not been great. That would be Finland's one weakness. It's going to be their attack that's going to have to get it done. Timo Teravainen will send this one across. Nice playing off the backhand. Another stick shot from the Swiss knocks it away to the left side corner. Teravainen. Now to Lindell. So Lindell will take a shot. This one gets deflected. Put back in behind the corner now for Timo as he is pinned on the left side glass. The shot board is still 1-0. Finland doesn't get anything on the power play. We've seen that a lot in that opening game against Slovakia. Slovakia won 6-2 against Germany. So Germany's tournament is done as the Swiss have iced the puck. Give me 1 second, Ian. They're showing Pius Suter. He's getting worked on over that shot block. Here's an offensive zone draw when I had to check my phone. A lot's happening here. Getting up earlier to do these games just means there's more opportunities for madness for everything else. But at least this one's a 12-10 start. Depending on what the U.S. do today against Sweden, it'll be a 3-10 start on Friday. So really be happy about that. I want to stay away from the 6-10s as much as possible, as this will be recollected now for Nico Mikkola. Yeah, that was a little bit of a rough one yesterday, Ian, but we ended up having a good game. Honestly, of the playoff qualifications, that one was the only one-goal game. It was close. It was just all in the second period.
Yeah. And in this game, I'm currently watching Czechia and Canada. Not what I expected.
No.
I expected it to be this tight.
And Ian, again, if it gets to the last 5 minutes and it's still within a goal, I'm going to watch that one live with you. We're just picking this up while they're in break, as it's now a 3-on-2 developing for the Finns. Rantanen will send it in. And I don't know if he got clipped with a high stick or not right at the line, or a little bit of offsides. I think that's what we got. So we'll stay here through the first break. We're scoreless between Finland and Switzerland. And I said in the open, and I always mention it from the first day, you never want to count out Slovakia or Czechia and throughout the World Juniors or anything else you see in the Olympics, kind of showcasing that right now. But this could be a goaltending duel in this game that we have between Finland and Switzerland. And that's on Giannoni on one side. It's going to be up to Finland's attack in order for them to get this win over the Swiss today. You can't count them out. This should be a tight one. So let me give you the score breakdown for the Slovaks. So Pavel Regenda of the San Jose Sharks opened the scoring, but it was late. I think it was 18:06. I think they have these ones backwards as far as time. And then Kanainen, Okular, and Devar Dvorsky made it 4-0 Slovakia after 2. Lucas Reichel scored the only goal for Germany in that second, assisted by Leon. And then Regenda made it 5-1. Tomas Tatar made it 6-2. So Leon Draisaitl in that game, Ian, was held to just 1 assist in Germany's 6-2 loss to the Slovaks.
Wow.
Much, much different when you're not playing with Connor McDavid on the Edmonton Oilers.
A lot different.
So Roope Hintz going to get a chance to take this one for the Finns. Played up toward the right side boards, as this will be off a pin. Swiss now trying to locate. They will. 3-on-2 developing on the rush, and that one is offsides one more time. try to go ahead and cheat for offense there was Moser. Again, you got Janis Moser and Jonas Siegenthaler, so a couple NHL defensemen. Andre Glosser, I saw him a little bit in the Worlds when the United States scored that overtime winner with Tage Thompson. Thankfully, Tage, you'll see him today with the United States, but it is pretty interesting, Ian, and I'm just talking out loud here, but the way that Group B ended up working out, you had Finland, Sweden, and you had another team in there. I'd have to go ahead and look back in through my notes one more time, but you had 3 teams that were competitive in there in Group B, and Sweden ended up getting the last seed. And the U.S., because they won Group C, Canada had the first seed. The second lowest ended up being Sweden because of the group stage. So honestly, the United States had the easiest road up until you're starting all the middle round stuff now. And they're going to have to play Sweden at 3:10. That's going to be a tight game, I would imagine. Lindell will send this one in as Lindell. Again, a lot of Dallas Stars, as we mentioned. 12-20 left to go in the first. Just one shot apiece for both teams right now. Finns love to play tight, and the Swiss have to in order to be able to try to manage this one up. But Giannone only having one shot against him. I'm being honest when I tell you he can have those performances where he stops 38 out of 40 and makes it look easy. So it's going to take activity, and this is probably what the Swiss want right now. Try to keep it as low event as possible. A shot almost grazes the bar from Joel Armia in that previous camera shot. He's got 4 points in 3 games played. Honestly, Armia has had more impact here, and he's had his number of the LA Kings with Ken Holland. As Sebastian Aho can't win the draw. It'll give Swiss possession. Juuse Saros fights it off. Here's a wraparound attempt off the outside of the cage. As we play in the high slot, slapper for Moser. This one gets blocked. Ristolainen will try to get it out. Remember the Philadelphia Flyers. Here is a long flip. Granlund will chase it down. And Moser now off the pin. He's going to be wearing number 86. We've got Kiwi Haru on the right side bumper. Swiss lead the shot board now 2-1. As we're a minute away from being halfway through the opening frame. John on here with you alongside Ian Genge gracefully one more time. Again, as I mentioned, if it gets to about 5 minutes left in that third and we get within a 1-goal game or whatever else, we're going to carry that one live. Juuse Saros comes out of the goal crease to play it from the right side dot. So not going to try to miss anything here. We'll be able to cover that all the way through in at least this game. By the time USA-Sweden starts, I probably will be able to watch a little of it. We'll see if I can stay with you for some of it, depending on how long these games go. But I will miss the majority of the game. Now, Ian and Alec have seen more of USA than I have and throughout it, so I'm really hoping that they make it to the semifinals so we can cover them and then see what happens on Sunday as well. Again, for any talking that anyone wants to do about Canada or whatever's going on, Ian and Alec and Cooper and I can tell you that you can't count on anyone in this tournament. You're in the Olympics. You're on best, and it's a 1-game elimination. Anything can happen. So kind of think of it like football. As this is sent back down toward the left side boards. 10:55 left to go in the first. As Niederreiter trying to play some defense in his own end. Finland a good job with puck possession. They're kept on the outside. Shot gets blocked. And here will be a hustle back now for Olli Mata of the Utah Mammoth. Mata will make his pass across to Roope Hintz when he is on his best. Is one of the elite 2-way forwards with a ton of speed. As this is picked up across the right side boards, Rasmus Ristolainen will send this one back down deep. Jonas Siegenthaler trying to get it out with Nino Niederreiter of the Swiss. Again, they're in the all-white jerseys with the black pants, red striping. You got Finland in the dark blue all the way across the board with the Sumi patch. Siegenthaler go across now to Jonas Moser. Expect them to play tons of time as top-line NHLers for this Swiss team. As Juuse Saros will send this one back around. This will be picked up by Finland. They'll have to brace toward the right side of the glass. That was Halla for a moment for Finland and off the long flip. And now the Swiss look to break out. And across the right wing on the backhand, Juuse Saros gets a piece with the glove. He can't hold. This will give the Swiss puck possession behind the net as they continue to battle for it. Riyad, who was in the box, he tried to pick it up against Juuse Saros. And now Moser off his back pass. He will get it back. Here's a good back check from Simon Knack. And the Swiss in their own end now, trying to get around a couple of forechecks. It is loose, and Finland will find it. High slot now. Niko Mikkola content to throw it near the left side glass. Puck possession is all it's been right now for these two teams. It's been a low event like it was in the opening of the playoff qualifications that we got yesterday, but Czechia did beat Denmark. It was 5 goals in the second period. It was enough to hold it. Moser make his pass ahead as this will be flipped back down. Rasmus Ristolainen will get there first. It'll be an icing against the Swiss.
Well, for those of you new to hockey, there's a lot of boring defensive hockey, as some would say. But for those that love defensive hockey and are goaltending experts, this is the game to be at because it's the technical.
So, Ian, when you get a chance and once it starts, let me know when Canada and Czechia is underway, and then I'll start monitoring it a little bit more. And then once we get down a little bit late, I'll join in live with you.
I'll let you know.
Okay, I appreciate it. As this will be picked up now, Erat will get this one down the ice, and we'll see if it'll be far enough one more time for an icing. Indeed, it will be. So back-to-back against the Swiss. They cannot change, but they're able to get a couple of breaths here. Now, for Miro Heiskanen, talk about the way that he can activate offensive defenseman, lethal shot. Hasn't had the type of season that we're usually expecting with the Dallas Stars. Again, Ian and I talked about it a little bit yesterday. Yes, they've won 6 in a row heading into the break, but before that, it was pretty much 1 month where they essentially encapsulated all of their points. I think they're going to be in a battle alongside with the Minnesota Wild and the Colorado Avalanche. There's a lot to be said about the Avs getting the number 1 seed, avoiding a Game 7 and this and that, but Dallas Stars, we'll see if they'll be enough to win a Stanley Cup this year. They're pretty top-heavy. Long shot, Berchi have to join in, and Mikko Rantanen got cross-checked right across the face in this scrum, and it's pretty serious here. Mikael Granlund comes in, and Mikko Rantanen, they're going to want to make sure that they get him off the ice. Not saying he's injured, but you don't want him taking any more of those shots. He got hit really hard in that scrum, and that's no exaggeration as we get a little bit of a stoppage here. So I'll pause here for the whistle. It was Glosser and Lindell doing some work, and a chance for Luostarinen off the left side of the cage created the scrum after it was stopped by Giannoni, and they cut away. So we'll take a break. Just to let everybody know, Thursday is going to be a maintenance day for me to prepare for Friday anyway, but Thursday is no games. So you're not missing anything. I wanted to make sure I got part of the playoff qualifications, start the quarterfinals, and get the 4 assignments in this week. I could cover Saturday, but that's the 3rd place game. I'm probably going to have to try to make some plans with the parents because I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Again, I can't make this officially for the Sharks, but I've already was told by the GM in the league and then my show that they can make it a full-time job opportunity in October. And I have to get some things squared over in preparation for a April, I would say May, June, late May, June meeting as far as what I will be doing. I'll still be doing Sharks duties and writing stories, but I might be the liaison for every single team in that league if they expand as much as I think that they might. So that means I'll get to work remote. I hope I will get to do some streams still. I still will be. I'm just going to be pulling some longer hours. I'm already kind of working 40 hours anyway, but now I get to do it with pay.
Hey, John, we're back. Hey, John, it's back. We're in the 3rd period.
Thank you, Ian. So I'm going to start to follow that here. 7:55 left to go in the first. Again, we're going to cover the rest of this first period, and then once we go into intermission, we will flip over to Czechia, Canada. I think that sounds like a good plan. As Ian will monitor anything else as far as goals, I'm going to keep an eye on the score line too. It's 2-2 for Czechia, Canada as they're getting ready for the third period. Picked up across the opposite blue line here for the Finns, as this will be recollected and then flipped down. Finnish squad loves to play defense. That is what we're seeing right now in this contest. And I wanted to pick another one that could be close. You know, I didn't expect Czechia, Canada to be this close. Sidney Crosby went to the room, and he did not come back. That was the big headline that I saw in that broadcast. As Rantapalo off the tie-up will get a whistle. Nino Niederreiter. I think this will go back into the Swiss end one more time. And one more time in this first. Don't really have many notes to bring you, as Rantanen, he was getting some liberties there with Janoni, and Fiora said, you know what, I'm just going to cross-check Rantanen, I'm going to cross-check Hintz, and I'm going to go right after these Dallas Stars. So Jim Nill had to be having his hands on his head at that point. Sebastian will win it back, as Rasmus Ristolainen and Niko Mikkola. Mikkola's got it now, throws it back to the bumper. Ristolainen back around the corner for Sebastian of the Carolina Hurricanes. Good shoulder shrug right out in front. Aho couldn't get a stick on it, got lifted. He sends it toward Janoni, who will hold at 6:47 of the first. So we're going to look at these two games at the same time. The first minute has expired. And it was 1 goal in the first, 1 goal in the second for Canada, 2 opening goals for the Czech Republic in that first period. As we're getting these camera shots, this one played at Rio. Every other one played on the initial arena that they're going to play USA Sweden at 3:10. The one advantage that USA and every other higher seed gets is all these teams played yesterday. But again, as we said, you see between Canada and Czechia and USA Sweden, those games are going to be tight. This is a good day to watch hockey. I think you should make that your full-scale plans if you can. As Janoni will send this one down for Moser. Roman Josi is another one of those defensemen. This time on the Nashville Predators, as Roman will send this in from 150. This will just miss the left side red line. Be picked up across the glass. Aggregato lost the puck, but this will go to the defense for the Swiss. Just 3-2 on the shot board right now with 6 minutes left to go in this first. I am prepared once this is done to go to the third period of Czechia, Canada. And we are just waiting for that to happen here. But we're going to cover this. You say Saros turns it over. Swiss score! Horrible turnover for Saros. And Switzerland gets on the board at 5:46. Right in behind the netty is a big misplay, and this net is gaping. Holy cow. This could be the day of upsets, potentially. And the first one on the board, it is Damian Riyad. He was the one that got the first penalty. Saros, pitiful play behind the net. It was slow. It was the Swiss that were right there, and Riyad the recipient of an open net. Ian, if you would have saw that, that was catastrophic. That was like a car crash that you knew you couldn't get out of the way of. Just a terrible decision for Saros, and it gives the Swiss a 1-0 lead. This feels a lot like that Slovakia game, with the exception the Finns only have 2 shots here, and it's 5:30 left to go in the first.
Mistakes will cost you, especially in the knockout rounds.
When you only have 1 chance, again, we talked about it. We're looking at this again. A clean pocket pick. I mean, you say Saros does not look on who's behind him. That is all on Saros. And I'm not trying to pick just necessarily to do so, but you cannot make those plays. 5:33 left to go in the first. At least this will force, I would think, into the second frame. If the scoreline stays 1-0, Finland will come out of their shell and have to attack a little bit more. They've got so many NHLers, so much attack. Deflection play, opportunity blocked in front of Gioni. Don't know if he actually made that save. Now Mikkola throws it in behind the inboards. Now Finland's starting to rush already with 5:05 left to go in the first. But they got blocked aside by the Swiss. They love to play defense and lockdown. This is a great pass. Here's a one-timer, and Gregetto. He sails that one wide. As this will be picked up now toward the right side board. Swiss have it across the wall. Hischier throws it on Saros. It's loose in front again. Saros made the initial save. This is kept in. And for Michael Fiora, he was the one that was laying out Rantanen and Hintz in front of the goal crease. Mikkola knocks down one of the Swiss players. One-timer. Scores! 2-0! Switzerland! Nino Niederreiter! You've got to be kidding me. 2-0 Swiss. This is why we covered this game at 12:10. The upset special looming.
Apparently, jeez, for a country that chose peace a long time ago, they sure choose violence now.
Ian, a ripper from the left side blue line. That one Saros has no chance on with a partial screen, but his first mistake proves a double. And Finland has 4 shots. Switzerland's got 5. They've got 2 goals. Nino Niederreiter, assisted by Pius Suter, who had that shot block as we talked about in the open. And this is a giant lead for the Swiss. I told you how good Gioni is from the Worlds. I've seen him several times in international tournaments. He is one of the best goalies in the world at 38 years of age. He is absolutely locked down, and the Swiss team can be locked down. And the other thing we mentioned too, with the 2-0 lead, they can play even more defense should they want to, if they want to win it like this. Glosser. Again, there's so much time, but there's some things to think about. Finland's really got to get to the dressing room. They were thinking they would only be down 1-0. No, sir. As this is picked up and across the right side boards for Sebastian, and this pass does not hold the point. Finland has looked discombobulated, to say the least. 3:30 left to go in this first as Anton Lindell, watch this one get smoked off the glass, sent back around. And again, it's worth repeating, all NHLers, with the exception of one defenseman, this Finns team, Ian and I will tell you as much, is absolutely loaded, but it's not looking like that right now. Mikko Rantanen, this is too far for Granlund, has to throw it back now for Mikko. I have to say Finland needs a goal here, and it's 3 minutes left to go in the first. Picked up on the backhand now, sent it toward Gioni. That one blocked. What a funnel of defense there for the Swiss. Siegenthaler, and off the push as this is played across the glass. 2:45 left to go in the opening frame. The Swiss have scored twice. They lead the Finns 2-0. And again, when I watched them in that opening game against Slovakia, Slovakia won 3-1. Finland outshot Slovakia by about 20. Right now they're being outshot 5-4. That's been the difference, but otherwise the other team has won. Slovakia won their group in between and then beat Germany today. They'll be in the semis. It gets reseeded after this, and if we do get upsets, that will change all the headlines. Can't tell you who's going to play who just yet. Picked up across the left side bumper here for Niko Mikkola. Here is Roman Josi. Back and behind the inboards, the Swiss will successfully get it out. They'll use the long flip and send this down the ice. Just going to get some notes typed up here.
Czechia killed off the rest of Canada's power play from the second period, and 6 minutes through the third, we're still tied 2-2, though Canada is still pushing in the O-zone of Czechia.
Thank you, Ian. 1:35 left to go in the opening frame. We're going to get set here to join Canada and Czechia, but it's 2-0 Swiss. And I wouldn't say that Ian and I are shocked for all the stuff that we told you about that would happen, but the one thing that will shock you is just 5-4 on the shot board. That is unacceptable if you're the Finns. Mikko Rantanen have to play this one at the backhand across the Lana Cortina logo. As delayed offside would have been against Finland. They got to go back. Swiss will take this pass that gets deflected from center ice, and 65 seconds left to go in this first period. Let me go ahead and get you the score as far as the box. Again, I'm already typing none for Finland here in this first. I just want to get myself prepared because we're going to make sure I want to cover the story anyway. So Riat from Jaeger, Ken Jaeger, again, two guys playing overseas, two non-HLers combined off of that turnover from Saros. And then Nino Niederreiter from Andre Glosser on the slap shot. They're coming back in from break. We'll close up the last minute and then flip over here. I'm just getting these typed in. So we got the shot board 5-4. The face-offs are 9-8 Swiss as well. So they lead on both categories. Let's get this last 50 seconds. As we check back in, Glosser will throw this one down deep. This is played now for Anton Lindell of the Florida Panthers. Lindell off his outstretched pass. It's the left side red one. This was a good one here. It actually got Roope Hintz, who gets roughed up across the left side glass. Between him and Rantanen, they've been getting cross-checked, hit hard. Here is Aho now off the giveaway. And the Swiss try to race with Timo Meier, who was another one of those guys that lights it up in international play. Like Juraj Slafkovsky, who has been amazing for Slovakia in this tournament. Granlund tried to find it with a drag shot. This one blocked and then knocked away. Rasmus Ristolainen to Niko Mikkola. Slaps it back in behind the end boards, but Ian with 1.5 left. That is going to end the first. That is where I step away. It is 2-0 Swiss after one. Once we get into the second period, depending on what happens between Canada and Czechia, I'll jump back in. Let's check Canada, Czechia in progress. Give me 1 second to pull up my rosters again. We're going to leave these here for these teams.
Well, Czechia is putting up a very spirited fight. Canada was in their zone for quite a while, but right now Czechia is getting some chances of their own. I will let you know when the tie is broken and by who.
We are, I'm with you live here at this point, Ian, so we're going to join and have fun. I can see it with you together. 11:20 now as the Finns and Swiss head to intermission with the Swiss leading 2-0. We're going to join you in progress here for full. So 11:10 left to go in the third. It's a 2-2 tie between Canada-Czechia. The shot board is heavily for Canada here, 32-17. But David Pastrnak has had the best game of his tournament so far. And this is the quarterfinal. Again, whoever wins advances to the semi on Friday. Whoever loses goes home. Sidney Crosby's in the room. That's the other thing you got to be reminded of. As this is picked up now for Pastrnak on his backhand. Leading off the rush, this goes off the outside of the cage for Czechia. There'll be a turnaround now toward the net. This is a great play. That was a good save for Binnington, as this will be recollected now for Cervenka, the captaincy. At the point for Filip Hronek, this is just kept in by the stick of Pastrnak. It bounced off of him. Hronek surveys. There's a spin and turn now for Sedlak. Now for Pastrnak behind the cage. You got around angle. Slapper. And Binnington makes the save with the right pad. Czechia buzzing. Hronek gets his shot blocked. Good puck possession. High slot. Flip pass too hard for Hronek. Got a pivot now to the right side glass. As this will be recollected here. Canada trying to get it loose. Jarvis just waiting as this is sent. One-timer. Good shot block with a stick by Devon Tays. That could have easily been a goal, but he saved something right there. Holy cow. You're not kidding. As soon as you joined back in there for Czechia to get part of this call, that was all them in a sequence that lasted about a minute 30.
Yeah. We're supposed to be impartial when we're doing these jobs, but I really want to see this upset happen. It would throw everything into chaos.
It would. I mean, it's not just for us and Alec or Ian or Cooper and all of us, in the sense of myself included. Yeah, you want to see the U.S. advance. Yeah, you want to see them get past Sweden. Who knows if that's going to happen, but you're right. That throws everything on the board, but you know what? We want to see the international competition and the teams play at their best. That's what we're seeing right now. It's great to see.
Yeah, and I know what the big money draw is going to be.
Right.
You know, it's like they do in wrestling, you know, if this were a wrestling thing, USA versus Canada is the biggest draw. It's the main event. But sometimes you want to see the little guy.
Yeah, the way that we've seen it, and again, you joined me yesterday, and I appreciate you in the sense of that because it was 6 periods. 5 of them, Czechia didn't score in the 2 games that I covered. So for them to be able to come out and do this, and again, there was a great quote that surfaced from Czechia. I think it was Marty Natchez. He said, "We let Canada win the first game because you knew you're not going to beat them twice in a row." I like where his headspace was at as far as that, because you can't show all of your cards. I get that, but Canada is also one of those teams, as you know, and everybody would have to think that they are one of the very best in the world offensively. You could talk about goaltending. I still agree with you as far as Jordan Binnington. I have no questions on that. It's really not going to come down to Jordan Binnington whether they lose. It's going to come down to whether or not Canada scores 4 or 5 goals, because if they don't, that's just not good enough considering what they have, even without Crosby. This is Connor McDavid. We'll get this one now on the left side boards. Again, you don't have Sidney Crosby, but you still got McDavid. You got McKinnon. You got Macklin Celebrini, who scored in this game. Keep in mind, Macklin Celebrini is 19. He would still be eligible for the World Juniors, but the San Jose Sharks have played so well, they couldn't put him back down there. So he's playing in the Olympics and open the scoring in this game for Team Canada. That's how good he is. He's in the Hart conversation.
Jeez.
Lucas Dolstall makes the save on the left side post. And this will be picked up. Dolstall's played every game that I've watched for Czechia. And again, they have some really good goaltending. And for Karel Melka and Dan Vladar, should anything happen to Dostal, and this will be a chance now off the rush. Here is Parayko off the spin, as this one will be settled back down. Picked up now for Czechia, Hronek Now for Stransky, we'll get this one ahead. 8:40 left to go in the third. We should be able to cover this entire third period. And the way that this is, between the second for the Swiss and Finns, I'm going to stay here, and then we'll join the Swiss and Finns back in progress because you can't leave this game while it's close. I know Ian's going to survey this for me, but I got to watch this live and cover it, as this will be flipped back down the ice. Dvorsky gets dragged down, no call, as this is in behind the net of Lucas Dolstall. And Czechia now in the red pants and white jerseys, blue helmets. High slot. That one's a great save for Binnington, Ian, right in the middle of the circles with the left pad. And another hit goes to the right side, no call. Czechia loses his stick in behind. Here's a one-time setup. A diving shot block knocks it away. Here's a chance at off the rush for Natchez. Scores! Yes, sir! Czechia takes the lead.
Oh my God!
That was incredible. I feel like I'm getting some old-time calls. I'm not trying to do so with the voice box here, but Czechia is providing the intrigue.
Oh my goodness!
We had an incredible hit near the right side boards off a rip. Harley gets his shot blocked. He's got to jump. You got Natchez here. He leads the cross pass, and what a shot on the left side of the post. That was Andre Palat, gives Czechia the lead. That was incredible. That was one of the best sequences I've seen throughout this Olympics. 7:42 left to go in the third. Czechia leads Canada. Hurdle gets a secondary assist. Again, I had to let that pause because you let that sink in. It's Connor McDavid now. It's go time for Canada. He'll make the drop pass to Nathan McKinnon. Here's McDavid. Chance in the high slot. Celebrini, pump fake. He's on that Crosby line. It is McKinnon in tight. Save Dolstall. And this is punched from the corner. I might lose my voice, and I got plans here, but I've had to cover 2 games in the last 2 days. So Lauren's going to have to understand as this is picked up now. Celebrini with a shot. Dolstall fights it off again, and this one will be sent back down the ice. Now, Ian, my question is, if you're Czechia, do you just try to hold here and survive, or do you think you can press for any offense? Because you know Canada's going to come.
Right now, John, this is a one-goal game, and Canada is going to come out firing. If you're Czechia, not only do you have to hold it, no, you don't hold it. You take that puck, you go right back down the ice into their zone, and you just fire.
We'll see what happens here, and I'm thinking the same thing as you, Ian, as this is Dvorsky. Try to find this in between a couple of skate blades. About 6 minutes left to go in the third. This would be the first upset of the tournament. No questions asked. This puck goes offsides. 6:09. And it's a 3-2 lead because of Andre Palat. We look at that sparkling sequence one more time. Harley has to jump, gets his shot blocked, and Andre Palat bullseye over Binnington. I mean, that is a ripper of a shot. Right underneath the left armpit. Pasternak was back out there. Sedlak wins it. He's been excellent in the circle in the games I've covered alongside Czechia. This will be the third look, and I've been happy to do so. I want to see more Slovakia. It might be Slovakia-US, or it could be Slovakia would have a higher seed if the Swedens beat U.S., so that would kind of change everything too. Now, keep in mind, as much as Ian and I don't want to say this, or Alec or Cooper or myself, Sweden has a really good chance of beating the United States. I'm saying that as diehard U.S. So if you're watching this right now and you're shocked, please don't be, as far as what we're seeing. I've been saying that as much for the World Juniors and everything else, that these teams are game for it. This is Czechia's time right now to do something special but they're going to have to hold here and press, like Ian said. Here's a chance out in front, and Dostal makes the save. And Ian, this is another one of those times, too, for the Anaheim Ducks. Lucas Dostal, this is your shining moment, sir. We can think he can be a franchise netminder. This is the biggest moment of his life as we're getting set for the final 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I don't know what the U.S. team is doing right now, if they're paying attention to this game at all, but they should understand that what Czechia is doing to Canada right now, that can happen to them.
Yes.
So
yes,
they better hitch up their bootstraps or whatever.
absolutely.
The phrase is. Yeah, pull themselves up by their bootstraps and understand. Just because you're playing with talent, understand this. There's NHLers on Sweden too.
Their whole back line of NHLers, when you think of Victor Hedman and Gustav Forsling and those amount of Stanley Cups, that back line of Sweden compared to the United States back line alongside Quinn Hughes is going to be fantastic to watch.
Yeah.
So my question to everybody out there, again, I know I'm not going to get as many, everybody's covering this game across YouTube, but I'm just happy that you're here with me to be able to take in this moment because we're going to remember this for a long time if indeed this happens. But do you need any caffeine? Do you need to wake up or anything else? Because you're looking at this, I think your eyes are wide at this point. That was a hell of a play. That was one of the best sequences I think I've seen in a long time. We've covered some Stanley Cup finals, some excellent games. We've seen the Game 7, Mikko Rantanen against the Dallas Stars when Alec and I covered that alongside you, Ian. We all joined that in. That might be better than all of those that we just saw. 5:30 left to go here in this third. Czechia now. Gets this one across the center ice. Here's Devon Toews. Pass across now with Macklin Celebrini. Again, he's playing where Sidney Crosby would be on that first line with McDavid and McKinnon. It's definitely a sight for sore eyes for him. This is iced by Czechia. It'll be an ozone draw. 5:19 left to go in the third. Think about Canada's coaching staff now. You got Rick Tocchet, Bruce Cassidy, John Cooper, and Pete DeBoer. Right. You have all the best players in the world. You got all the best offensive players. The goaltending is good enough. You're not going to have any talks about for that. Ian and I didn't talk about that. You cannot lose this game if you're Canada. I understand Czechia is pretty good, and Ian and I said it, but for this game to even be close is something. Go ahead.
Yeah, you will see. You talk about that's one of the best plays and not the best game we've ever seen. That's what Olympic hockey and Four Nations face-off does.
Yeah.
Because you get combinations of players that, quite frankly, in a salary cap era of hockey, you're never going to see that. You're never going to see maybe the twilight of their careers. You'll never see McDavid and Crosby together on the same team.
No.
Vice versa. I don't know if we'll ever see the Hughes brothers together on a team. It could happen. They're still young. I guarantee we'll never see the Chucks play together unless it's like who was that pair of brothers that played for Vancouver?
Right, the
a
Sedins.
long time ago.
The Sedins.
Yeah. So twilights of their careers maybe, but Tage Johnson, Connor, and these collection of players, you'll never see them play on the rink in one league. Because it's not possible.
No, it's not. Not in the primes of their career like that. That's what makes the Olympics so special. So we're going to get set to take it away here. 3:55 left to go in the third as this one's cleared back down. Czechia has got it now. 3-on-2 for Czechia. They're up by a goal as Cervenka sends this one now for Pasta. You got to imagine he's going to get double shifted. And any timeouts are going to need to be used as this is picked up off the backhand. And again, I mistakenly have Finland's rosters up here instead of Czechia's, but we're going to be flipping back here in a moment, maybe. Devontae scores into the tip. I guess we'll stay here. 3:27 left to go in the third. Off the deflection, it beats Dostal, goes between the wickets.
And there's Canada.
I think Nick Suzuki is going to get the tip from Devontae's. He has been getting razzed as far as Canada. Again, fourth line, it's tough to say because, let's be honest, who's on the team, right? So you get an opportunity now. This is sent back across the point. Suzuki gets in front. What a beautiful deflection that is. No chance for Dostal. And we're tied at 3. That is tap of the top of the stick off the bottom of the 5-hole for Dostal. I mean, that is as perfect of a deflection as you can get. From Taze and Jarvis, 3:20 left to go in the third, and Nick Suzuki might have saved Canada's Olympic life as this puck gets iced. Pure theater. What we're watching right now. It is still the break between the Swiss and Finns. That's 2-0. Rister, Makar hits Dostal up in the face. Might have been a little bit of closer friendly fire as this is recollected now here for David Kampf. Andre Plot was the previous hero. Now it's Nick Suzuki because he's tied the game. 2:55 left to go in the third. As this will be settled back down for Michael Gudis. Gudis, Canadian fans getting very loud here as they should. Finally get some life back into their lungs. Dostal. Now for Gudis. Gudis was the one that injured Crosby. This is picked up toward the right side boards and settled back down. I believe that is Martin. As this will be recollected now. Off the long flip wide of Jordan Binnington. He's going to have to play it off the backboards. He'll hold. Czechia will get an ozone draw at 2:22 of the third. Now, here's what, Ian, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm thinking that both of us are leaning Canada to get this goal either now in this final 2:22 or OT. Can Czechia get one more hero is the golden question. Here is the draw win toward the left side. Wide of Binnington, but good traffic out in front as this was picked up there for a moment for Tomas Hertl. Long outstretched pass. Here is Bo Horvat. Scored a really nice goal in that first game against Czechia in the 5-0 break. Brad Marchand set him up. Mitchell Marner. Throw this out in front. 1:55 left to go in the third. This will be rolled back down the ice. One more time. Czechia has iced it. They're starting to do a little bit too much of that here, and that's going to allow Canada to press with this ozone draw. Lots of Canadian fans, if they're feeling the breath, it's like Ian said earlier, the U.S. has to take that same mindset of watching this. I think that would be good for them against Sweden and know they need to press on the front foot. Yes, that game will be tight like this one is. McDavid against Hertl. Hertl's not been very good in the circles from what I've seen. McDavid wins it. This one deflected high. Dostal hit hard. He's down. This will go the other way. Czechia has got it. Now to the right side, Natchez rubbed off the puck. Here by his teammate Devontae with the Colorado Avalanche. 90 seconds left to go in the first. Devon will send this back in behind the inboards. Connor McDavid. You got to wonder how Dostal's feeling after that hit. McKinnon tried to throw it out in front after the centering feed. One-timer. Devontae's. Here's a partial break. Oh, he just gets brought by Binnington. Natchez didn't have a ton of room, but he's got a lot of speed. He got the full move off, and his backhand was meant to the left post by Binnington's pad. He gets a block of Devontae's and almost house calls it for the win, if not for Jordan Binnington. Boy, oh boy, this feels like I'm watching a Stanley Cup Finals clincher. I'm feeling the pressure in the heartbeat here. This is fun. 38-23 on the shot board. 1:10 left to go in the third. It's an ozone draw win. Czechia fires it on. This goes to the left side. Cervenka, captaincy, throws it back to the left side point. Picked up now. Pasta, one-timer. Ooh, that was fanned on from the left side dot. This will be settled back down for Kempny. Kempny was the one that got the penalty in the second that allowed Nathan MacKinnon to score it. His pass is picked off. Working behind the net off the wraparound attempt. This is fanned on to the left of the post. Now Dvorsky got to do a better job of getting it out this time. They can't do it again. And this will allow Doughty to get possession of Mark Stone. Stone of the Vegas Golden Knights. Stone pass in the middle of a slot. Czechia will get it across the center. Picked up for Kale. Kale gets lifted. Kale gets it back. Short side ripper saved by Dostal. 15 seconds left to go in the third. Czechia now just trying to get it out of their own zone, and we'll see Canada presses for one more. Long pass for Devon Toews is sent in deep. And we are going to go to overtime in the quarterfinals between Canada and Czechia, tied at 3. Nick Suzuki was the latest hero. He answers Andre Palat. Otherwise, Czechia would have went to the semis. I'm going to stay here until we finish this game, and then we'll go in progress between the Swiss and Finns. I love that they keep showing that play. And I know that Nick Suzuki is the one that tied it up, but that has got to be one of the most beautiful sequences I've ever seen in a game. Just to get that go-ahead for Czechia, and how emotional that must be. And now you got to find a way in this OT. Now we're going to find out in real time whether we're going to go to 3-on-3 or 5-on-5 or how they want to do it. Because normally, I think in the other rounds, it's not medals. You would do shootouts. I know you would do that in the WJCs. I don't know if they changed it for the Olympics. I'm going to go ahead and throw this as well on the Twitter side. I just put the post out there on X.
There is one slight rule difference in overtime here compared to the North American game, and that is they do not change sides of the ice. So in the National Hockey League, it is a long change in overtime. Here, it is a little bit easier to get off the ice than we normally see in the NHL. Yeah, and that can make a big difference when you can change on your side.
So anyone on the YouTube side, again, I put this on X. We're going to cover the overtime possible shootout between Czechia and Canada, and then we will go back to our featured game. There's too much at stake here. Get a chance to cover both of these and get this done. And this will be a fun day. Hopefully we can close it out with USA Sweden and get the Stars and Stripes of victory, but that's selfish on my part. But we'll see, because if anything can happen today, you see it. Those are the rules. So here we go. Sedlak wins the draw. We're underway in OT. 10 minutes should we need it all, then a shootout. Chance up the gut. Played it off the backhand. Sedlak's speed will go wide. And now Canada has an opportunity. It's 3-on-3 OT until we get a goal, if not a shootout. It is McKinnon and McDavid on the ice right now with Devon Toews. McKinnon, what a series of drags. He's got it in the middle of the circles now. And this is where I think Czechia would be at a serious disadvantage, as it's McDavid on his backhand. It gives it right to Toews, right in the middle of the circles. Canada going to stay patient here with McKinnon off the drop for McDavid. McDavid shoots! Big rebound, but Dostal makes the save. And Czechia has the puck. Martin Hintz work his way slowly up the ice toward the right side wing. Wide open! What a save by Bennington! Leads it toward the left of the dot with the left side pad. And now McKinnon can slow it back down. Here for Thomas Harley. Big save, Jordan Bennington. Answers Dostal. Macklin Celebrini. What a thrill if he would get the game-winning goal. Here for Mitch Marner. Trying to make a roof. And what a roof! It's Marner! He scores! Canada goes to the semifinals. What a goal for Mitch Marner. Where has that been for the Maple Leafs? But it takes Canada to the semis. They beat Czechia 4-3. That ended quickly, but that was a hellacious backhand for Marner. That's an unbelievable backhand for Marner. I mean, that was absolute roof job past Dostal. And the one thing Ian and I had to be thinking this, as far as you go to 3-on-3, that's advantage Canada. This one up the gut, but at least Marner fights it off enough to be able to get that chance. Czechia full marks. I mean, they made Canada sweat everything else. And at least maybe into the semifinals, I'm guessing a little bit of a settle down for Canada here to be able to get right into the finals. This was their survival game. They did it. But you might see it that way. And for USA Sweden at 3:10, when we come back, we're going to go ahead and cover the Swiss and the Finns completely, but here's your game-winning goal. Drop from Celebrini, and Marner splits the pair of defense. Gorgeous backhand. Celebrini gets the primary assist. So again, as the 19-year-old, one of the best players in the world, and that one, he beats Kasha, beats Kampf, and it's a game winner for Canada. They win 4-3. They advance to the semis on Friday. We'll see who they play when everything gets reseeded.
Mitch Marner, who has spent his entire career playing for Toronto and has been often the recipient of criticism for his
Sorry I missed the end there. Trying to eat something before work, but man, Czechia, do not hang your heads.
Nope.
Do not feel shame. Man, what a game.
Yeah, that was the game of the tournament so far, and we'll see what ends up happening. Again, we've talked about it, Ian, and hopefully you have a good day at work and all that. It'll be much better if the United States survives against Sweden. But I like what you said much earlier, because I'm going to be thinking about that for the rest of the day. Well, I got plans after this, because U.S. better look in the mirror, and they see what Canada had to deal with now. And you better come out on the front foot, as you said, because that's going to be a giant game. And if Czechia found a way to win, if Sweden found a way to win, looks like the Swiss will at this point. I'm saying that with 11:45 up in the third. Everything could have been put on its head, but we were that close from the most monumental of upsets.
Oh, yeah. But this should be a wake-up call for Canada, and that is, and this is a wake-up call for them. Because you almost got beat by a team that you smashed
Yes.
in pool play.
5-0.
5-0, and they came out and nearly ended your quest for Olympic gold.
Yeah, they did. It was valiant. And if you didn't get that goal there from the beautiful deflection of Nick Suzuki, they would have went home. So anyone that was giving him flack for having a rough tournament, that completely goes away because he just saved your season single-handedly, and Mitch Marner encapsulated it. I'm going to pull back up this roster here, and then we will square away. Glad that we could do that one in progress. Pretty much damn near got 2 whole games in. We're going to join this one with 10:50 left to go in the second. John here with you alongside Ian Genge. Don't know how much longer Ian's going to be here, but we will square away through, and then I will make sure I will join you on Friday for one of the semis. Here's a wrister now for Roope Hintz, as this is the shot board 10-8. We join this one back in progress. We missed about half of the second period covering that. Here's a one-timer out in front, and what a stop by Juuse Saros. That should have been a 3-0 game, but he made a monumental save. Finland the other way. Giannone, he makes the first save as this goes in the corner off the dive, and it's picked up in behind the net. Here's another wrister. Heiskanen, this goes up and over the net off the glove of Giannone. Halfway left to go in this second period. The Swiss lead the Finns 2-0. Still both of their goals from the first. The shot board reads 11-9. And this will not be iced. It goes all the way length and touches Juuse Saros. Pass from 150. It'll connect. Sebastian Aho. He can't send it around the boards. Niederreiter was in his grill. And off the tie-up. This goes back down to Jonas Siegenthaler. Siegenthaler, nice chip off the glass. Push this one ahead. Here is a cross pass attempt. This one is partially blocked. Finland in desperation of defense, as that was Christoph Berchi. Try to hustle back now the other way to Mikael Granlund. Stick in the lane knocks this one down for the Swiss. Opportunity now here for the Swiss, as this is Siegenthaler. He gets tied up, knocked down. No call off the spin. Spin and turn Sebastian Aho. And the deflection attempt goes wide, as this will be settled back down. Aggregato got to do some defense in his own end. He'll flip it down. Giannone, no problems. The Roman Josi. Roman Josi off the long flip. Here for Rasmus Ristolainen. Josi picked up now for Aggregato. Nino Niederreiter will give chase. Lusterinen takes a hit from Nino Niederreiter. He's got one of the goals that made it 2-0. Erad's got the other, as this is picked up now toward the left side red line. And Anton Lindell will send it in deep. Swiss go ahead and switch ends here for Christian Marty and flip it back down to Juuse Saros. They'll make some changes on the fly. Shot board only 11-10. Swiss have the advantage of that and a 2-goal lead from both in the first. So it's right where they want it. They're keeping it low event enough. Giannone only stopped a part of it. This is picked up now for Joel Armia. Armia now. And off the spin and turn. He'll leave it toward the left side bumper. Armia back with it across the red line. Tries to throw a pass out in front. He gets it back for a third time. Armia not giving up on the play. Sends it back to the right side red line. Now across the point. Just kept in. Heiskanen. He shoots out the delay. This one deflected in the left corner one more time. It's a popular area for the vulcanized rubber. Here's a big glove down. Here is L.A. Tolvanen, member of the Seattle Kraken. Ripper. That one is redirected off of the Finns. Friendly fire. Rep dumps out of the way, and Yuki Haru gets it down. It'll be nice against the Swiss. 7:10 left to go in the second. Picked up now on the backhand, only Mata. Sending off the inner round for Mikko Rantanen. Rantanen now with a move. Forces one of the Swiss to lose their stick, but Giannoni's right there, makes the save one more time. He is as steady as they come. They'll stop it. We're inside 9 minutes left to go in the second. It's still 2-0 Swiss.
Proud partner of Team USA.
Goaltending. So they have had a long history of great goaltending, and Juuse Saros is just the latest version of the NHL littered with Finnish goaltenders. They've lost to him from here, and Juuse Saros has elevated himself to number one because of plays like that. He's so quick, so agile.
Offensive zone face-off the field. It seems like the last 4 or 5 games with all offensive zone shift from Hischier and company. First drop in the league, that's leading the face-off they do so. Third shift. Trying to sweep check into the rafters. Lehkonen in the far corner for Sebastian. Takes a moment to make a play. Back into the crease with a high slot. His first shift. Sending it out. 6.5 minutes in the second period. Shifting it to the no score. Niederreiter and Fiala doing the score.
Okay. Rantanen's rebound goes wide. Is it 6:15 left to go in the second? I want to make sure I got that out for Ian and I think we'll be able to join in on that call. It's been a memorable day already. We'll see how it ends. As this will be split back down to Juuse Saros. Probably should have given up another goal in this second period, if not for a wonderful save the one-timer as we just came back after Canada won it. Picked up now Lindell. Giannoni fights it off, and then what a rebound control there. Gets it with the left side of the stick and then the right side of the glove. Made that look very easy off of Lindell and then the deflection. Looks like we might take another break here with the Swiss still up 2-0.
Well, Patrick Fisher certainly has to be happy with his goaltender, Leonardo Giannoni. Some breakdowns are starting to happen, and the Finns are creeping through the middle. They're getting way more chances than they did in the first period of play. Tires Life will do that in the second period. Certainly has been more difficult for the Swiss. Finns able to get through to the center ice as they battle.
Wanted to look at the YouTube question. I know we've bounced in between Canada, Czechia. Now we're going to go back to Switzerland, Finland, cover this entirely. Who advances the semifinals? Again, we got 4 out of 6 votes say Finland, but the Swiss have a 2-0 lead, and this might be the one that was going to be the lockdown. And honestly, I saw a couple votes. This was the one that I voted for as far as for the upset, only because I know Giannoni very well. And the ability for the Swiss to play defense, all it's going to take is for them to score a couple of goals. Giannoni's save percentage is in the high 900s, not the low 900s, as he's got a couple shutouts already in this tournament. And you have, 16 goals for Finland in this tournament and through the pool play, and 11 of them came against Italy. So that was why I looked at this, even with the amount of NHLers that are on the Finns, and say they're going to need to show me more offensively if they're going to win this game. And right now they're still blanked. in all the games I've covered of Czechia, notwithstanding that we saw from Canada and then just now, it was 5 of 6 periods in where Czechia didn't score, and it would be, if this holds, 5 of 6 periods in where I watched the Finns and they did not score. So not really acceptable for the team that they have is to shut up high sales at 5:45 of the middle frame. Shot board now starting to get slanted. It was the Swiss with the lead about 9-7, as I had that written down there in the first. Now at 5:45 of the second is 16-11 Finns. So they're starting to get that work rate up. And Heiskanen's chance might have hit off the side of the ear of Giannoni's mask. 5:45 of the left post, short side. We're going to have to do this draw again, so we'll reset the clock at 5:45. Now, this game's played at Rio. Again, we're still in Milano Cortina, but they're in the opposite rink. The United States does not get under action until 3:10 Eastern Standard Time. That is the 9 o'clock side for Italy. So it's been late night, essentially for the United States all the way through. They probably get back in the room at 2 in the morning. This is picked up across the right side glass. Nico Hischier able to get it out. And Sebastian will send it in. Again, Giannoni has been spotless essentially throughout this tournament, riding a couple of shutouts. And his save percentage has been astronomically good, as it usually is. Swiss love to play defense, and they got a 2-0 lead. They can definitely hold it. As this is picked up now for J.J. Moser. Spin and turn for Granlund. Back in behind the bumper. Granlund now off the tie-up. See if he can get it there now for Timo Teravainen, member of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brennamore's squad. Now and off the spin and turn. Good forecheck here for Finland. See if they can do anything with it. Across the right side bumper in the wall. Picked up now from Roman Josi. Timo Meier will get it out of Josi. Try to lead off the rush, does Roman, and we'll chip and chase instead and take his change smartly there as Switzerland gets some fresh units. Here's Miro Heiskanen now. We'll flip this in cautiously across the red line as Roope Hintz try to get a steal from Giannoni amongst the goal crease. Couldn't do it. Rasmus Ristolainen. We'll take this one now for Granlund. Up the gut, Roope Hintz. He'll try to make a little pirouette, but this will be knocked away from the Swiss defense. Here's a rolling puck. Start again. Now here's a touch pass. Right and across the inboards for Simon Nemec to Damian Riat. Those are the ones that combined for the turnover that was catastrophic for Juuse Saros. Now to the right side corner. Get a change there as this is flipped around the inboards now for the Swiss on the fly. They're still in Finland's defensive end. Back and behind the net. It's going to be a tripping call against the Finns. 3:54 left to go in the second. Artturi Lehkonen is going to go to the box. And if Switzerland scores here toward the end of the second and makes it 3-0, I don't think Finland's going to come all the way back to win this game. This is not the same attack that we talk about that Canada can feature, that Sweden can feature, even though they hadn't had a great tournament. And certainly from the U.S., if you go down 3-0 and you're Finland, that's probably lights out on your season. This is going to be a monumental penalty kill. Who do they trust right now for Augusta's squad to come out and do that? 3:54 left. It's an offensive zone draw. And the Swiss get a power play. Saros makes a save, and there was a rebound near the back post for Timo Meier. If that hit his stick, it would have been 3-0, but it went over his blade. Juuse Saros. And off the drop for Hischier. Hischier now. Left side red line finds the entry rather easily as Finland was just backing up. Josi shoots. This is deflected as Lindell will fight it off. Finland sends it down. Power play for Switzerland, 5 of 16. They've had a ton of opportunities. It's a pretty good success rate. Roman Josi. This will be offsides. Timo Meier a little too eager at 3:12 left on the left side red line.
Usually you want to make sure you get right over the blue line still to make your move, but it's not giving them any space, and that forcing them offside is part of the structure of the Finnish play, especially on the penalty kill.
It's an excellent day of hockey that is shaping up here. Philip Kurashev will pick this one up now for the Swiss. Here's a turnaround opportunity. Flip back down, gloved out of the air, played dead with a hand pass, so that's going to play no nonetheless. As Dean Kukin is going to get some camera shots for the Swiss. John here with you alongside Ian Genge. He's got some work festivities to do to get squared away for the day-to-day. I got plans after this, but we're going to carry this game all the way through. We got Canada-Czechia 4-3 OT winners. Mitch Marner backhand finishes it off. I will not be able to get to USA-Sweden, but I probably will be following the score on my phone in between Lauren and her dad's birthday and all of that, only because we're going to have to here, as this is Hischier will win this one now for Roman Josi. It's a big day. As much you talk about the Super Bowl, the Stanley Cup, everything else, World Series, this is essentially one of those big moments we've been waiting for the NHL players to join back in the Olympics, and this feels like a Christmas morning. And I'm going to savor every minute of it. As Giannone will stop it to the left side boards. Now back to Roman Josi. Josi will try to make a windmill move, chase this one in deep. Swiss still have 25 seconds left to go in their power play. Good pass for Hischier toward the right side, flip bands. And the Swiss, very patient here. As long as they don't concede, you'd think they'd be in good standing. Roman Josi, long shot. You say Saros in and out of the glove as Rasmus Ristolainen try to keep the goal crease clean in front of Juuse. 2:03 left to go in the second.
Roman Josi showing his defensive prowess and stability with the pocket as well. His good head work along the blue line, not panicking, making sure that puck doesn't come on the other side of the blue line, protecting it at the blue line angle. Here's a hit along the sideboards. As Bria, the goal scorer in today's game, nearly fell into his own bench there.
Aho will send this one down, and it'll be stopped now by Giannone. 2-0 still your score line here. Nothing to tell you about in that middle frame in comparison to that game that we just covered, and that is what the Swiss want to do here. Finns are still going to have another 20 minutes, but they're really going to have to get them going. There's a cross-check in behind the net from Aho. He gets away with it. Now this is an opportunity. Heiskanen gives this one back to Sebastian Aho. Goes off the outside of the post and behind the net of the Swiss, who've got some work to do for Dana Gloucester. Gloucester will at least flip this one ahead for Turnikov. The other defensive partner, Janis Moser, push it ahead. And this will be flipped back down. Had to be careful not to get too many men on the ice. As Mikael Granlund, there's a sweeping play in front, fought off by Giannone. Granlund, high slot, sets it up for Mata. This is blocked beautifully by the Swiss. Again, Giannone trying to keep it clean. Vulcanized rubber was loose, and this is now out of the zone. 45 seconds left to go in the second. Partially dangerous there, but the Swiss dove in front of their net to make sure their netminder was clean. This is a good reverse hit by the Swiss to deny Finland puck possession down the ice. It'll be blown dead. Only Mata will touch for the hybrid ice at 34.4.
Well, chaos ensues in front of Giannone, and I hope that Finns are realizing they just have to throw it on the net. You don't know where it is. This goes off his butt end and the post. And I'm not sure that Giannone saw this. Goes off the butt end of the Finnish player here in front. It's going to redirect right there, and then go off Giannone's butt end as well.
30 seconds left to go in the middle frame. Finland wins a draw. Try to send this one toward the net. Swiss pick it up. Flip is a little bit slow, but they will get this one on at least through neutral. Excellent work there, as this will be settled back down. Finland coughs it up in their own end, and this shot gets turned over, and it goes up and out of play off the glove of Saros as Kanak let it fly. Shot board 2013. So Finland, let me look back at my notes really quick before we end this second frame. It is 9, or it was 5-4 on the shot board after 1 in favor of the Swiss. So the shot board has gotten a lot more active for the Finns that lead that there, but they're still down 2-0. Hischier, throw this one straight back. And we'll have to do it again off the draw.
They'll do it all again. The right of Saros' goal. Before the 8-second unit. 2013 shots on goal, but it's the 2 goals in the first period.
Ozone draw win off the tie up for the Swiss. Try to send it toward the net as we go down to 5. Kick of the puck for Nico Hischier. Enough to throw it in the corner. And no goals to tell you about in the second. It's still 2-0 Switzerland against Finland. The upset watch is big right now. It wouldn't have been as big as Canada-Czechia, but this would be the biggest result of the day because Finland is still one of those ones that are heavily favored with the amount of NHLers, but they've not been able to find a way to score goals consistently. 16 in this tournament, but 11 of them against Italy, and that's why it's 2-0 after 2 for the Swiss. We come back, we'll call the third, and then we'll close out the day with my plans. I will not be able to cover USA-Sweden, but I'll be hopeful that they can make it to the semis because we'll have the U.S. lean the rest of the way should we get it. We're hoping for USA-Canada on Sunday at about 8:10 in the morning with Alec Nava, myself, and Ian Genge. But we'll see what we get. Come back, we'll call the third.
Came into the second period down 2-0, but they came up with some jumps after their first intermission. They started to get some chances down on Janoni. You just felt like the momentum was starting to shift in the Finns' way. Throwing pucks on net, but Janoni gets a stick on this one, helping out his defender, making sure that he is protecting that blue paint, the crease right in front of him. Opportunity to try to net for the Finns. Janoni swimming in the net, but they're unable to capitalize on this opportunity. Skate by Josi, and this goes out number 90 in white and just misses the far side. The Finns do a much better job of finding lanes in that and ensuring that they're getting in behind the Swiss defense. Sebastian likely with the best opportunity here in
That's because you guys don't know what you're talking about.
He's just all over the net. He is willing to do anything to stop this puck. The battle that we see in Genoni is huge, and he wants this win so bad. He was willing to do anything, take saves off shoulders, get body parts in front of everything. And even when we beat him, it can't beat the post. The Finns able to get 20 shots after 2 periods of play, 16 shots in that second period came up firing, but they were never able to beat Genoni. Even when it bounced right past him, it went off the post. The Swiss, not as good a period, but still able to have a clean sheet going into the third. Had it been for the coaches, the Swiss team likely will work on defensive structure in the second intermission, but has to be happy with where they're at right now. The Swiss lead 2-0.
I can't believe she said that for Kier Schmid. You'd think at the Olympics they know what the hell they're talking about. Again, I told you enough from covering for Leonardo Giannoni in the Worlds and looking at some of the stuff for his numbers internationally. He's one of the very best international goalies that we have in the world. I don't care that he's 38 years old. Look at his save percentage throughout the tournament. It's above like 960. He's got a couple of shutouts. Why the hell would you play Kier Schmid over Giannoni? That'd be ridiculous. Why would she even say that? I don't get paid for that. I mean, it'd be nice to be able to get paid for the stuff I do, covering over 40 hours. Come on now. So, again, partially for the second period, we were able to get about half because we had to cover Canada-Czechia from the OT late in the third. But as it is, no goals to tell you about in that second frame, and still no goals for Finland. Still Damian Riad after the egregious turnover from Juuse Saros. They've elected to go back to Saros. I told you in the opening, and that first game that we covered when it was Slovakia-Finland, it ended up being, 4-1? And the opener that we covered, and I mentioned you have a controversy to think about between Jonas Korpisalo, Kevin Lankinen, and Juuse Saros. You got 3 goaltenders for the Finns that aren't necessarily that great, especially not this year. Juuse Saros, the conglomerate of work that he's had over the body of his career is excellent. But right now, that's the weakest point for the Finns. They've got to be able to attack. Again, I mentioned it. They've scored 16 goals during the opening of pool play. 11 of them have been against Italy. So how dangerous is the Finns' attack? Should be exceedingly dangerous because the only non-NHLer they have is one defenseman. And you have the entire Finnish mafia that was carried over from the Dallas Stars. But it's not enough. Leonardo Giannoni with the 20 shots that the Finns have gotten in that second frame. There was one tip at the post, but he's been stopping everything. He's been the lockdown as it's always been. Sorry, I don't have more reset for you as far as the analysis because we joined that one back in progress. But let me give you the stats after 2 periods to see how they translate from the first. So the shots from the first were 5-4 Swiss, face-offs 9-8 Swiss. Shot board now is 2013 for Finland, and that would translate to 12-8 shots on goal for Finland. Face-offs 23-13. That's where the Swiss are still dominating. Face-offs 23-13. And in that period, because Live Sport and the ESPN box don't keep track of hits, just 5 face-off wins for Finland. In that frame, that's beyond pitiful. To 14 for the Swiss. If you read some of the previews that I threw across, I did mention that Germany and Slovakia would be intriguing. Germany has been easily the most disappointing team in the tournament, but Slovakia, we saw that in the opener against Finland, that they were game for this. In the previews I had mentioned for Finland and Switzerland, that I think that this is going to be the one I cover because it's going to be locked down, it's going to be low scoring, and Switzerland is game to win this. I think they can take it. Right now, they still lead 2-0. USA Canada, I can't across my heart give you a actual prediction because I'm kind of nervous, and I think Sweden can win that game outright. They've probably been the second most disappointing tournament team, but with the amount of NHLers that they have on the back end, their back end is going to be as good as anything the United States can throw, especially when you got guys like Victor Hedman and Gustav Forsling. I think that's going to be another tight one. In fact, I think it's going to be so tight we might see something similar to what we just saw between Czechia and Canada when they had to win 4-3. When we first covered Czechia Canada day 2, Canada won 5-0, and Czechia looked pretty listless. But I think the one thing that helps, and that's the obvious, you have all the teams that won yesterday playing off a back-to-back against the higher seeds. But I also think the other portion of it is the U.S. has a chance to absorb everything that just happened between Canada and know they need to start on the right foot. They should find a way to get a victory, but I don't feel comfortable. I wouldn't be surprised if Sweden wins. If that happens, everything gets reseeded in the semifinals. It wouldn't be this game that just gets turned over on its head, even though I think a lot of people are taking the Finns. I don't think it should be that much of a surprise. Czechia, Canada would have been the biggest. USA, Sweden probably the second biggest, although you could argue Sweden is good enough to win a gold medal on their own, even for as good as Canada is. And I'm not trying to make excuses for the U.S. It's just the truth. And I can say that because we covered so much international hockey, World Juniors, everything else. I've learned to not take anything for granted over the last 4 years and kind of keep everything even keel because you see these guys be the best in the world, and it's a lot of fun to be able to watch. So you're reset for the public side. Let me pull this back up for the box I'm going to need for the game story. Today, your scores 6-2, Slovakia beats Germany, 4-3, Canada wins in OT. I'll type those in right now. Canada won 4-3 in overtime. Mitch Marner, Nick Suzuki. For all the crap that Nick Suzuki had gotten throughout this tournament, I think from some of the Canadian fans, they definitely should be writing him thank yous and postcards. And you might as well just get this in order right now because if Switzerland holds on, they're going to take the victory here. I'm just getting this prepped. And then we reseed for Friday. So if it's going to be the United States, the way that it's been a 3-10 start. So if the United States do win, I will be covering a 3-10 game Friday. I don't think they're going to change the time slot on the U.S. considering it's been 3-10 all the way through. So we would be back on Friday. Thursday would be an off day. And then I would see you again Sunday alongside Alec Nava and Ian Genge for the championship game, gold medal game at 8:10 in the morning Eastern. That is 5:10 in the morning Pacific. I don't think Cooper Hopkins would ever be up that early, but you never know who could join us on that Sunday. Because if it's USA Canada, I think we'd all be getting up early to watch it. But whoever it's going to be, I'll be more than happy to cover it. So that is on the 22nd. Let me look at the NHL scoreboard. I know they're in break because of the Olympics, but when do they resume? So when do I need to start looking back at my next week's schedule? That is Wednesday. So you got Maple Leafs Lightning on Wednesday, Kraken Stars, Avalanche Mammoth, Golden Knights Kings, Oilers Ducks. Got some decent ones there. Red Wings return to action on Thursday. Flames and Sharks will be their first one.
You're always trying to pull off the impossible. You can't be executing at this type of scale, this type of speed without the right person. $5 million of real money. Getting slack at our disposal is good. Even success. Things that people think are impossible, we pull it off every time. It's always something different if it's on our nose.
I'm using that slack pod to find that answer.
If you're ready to do this without slack, you're doing it on hard mode. There is no
Tuesday, March 3rd might be the first one we cover there, Stars and Flames. Not at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's if Cooper wants to do it. I know they're going to be playing the Red Wings quite soon. That'll be Monday, March 16th, less than a month from now. That'll be after when I come back to cover the Sharks for the first time from their road stand. And then we'll be on the end of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game road stand for them.
You don't make dairy that's just good enough. You make dairy.
8 of the next 11 for the Flames will be on the road once they come back from break.
Your favorite part of any pie. Melty cheese shreds that invite nachos to bring friends.
Because they had 7 of the last 8 at home.
Best thing that ever happened to a bagel. We don't just make dairy. We make
And they took 3 out of 4 against the Edmonton Oilers. So
reaching your financial goals can feel impossible. But we can help you seize them. Credit Karma gives you personalized guidance.
So I'll probably get back on the Thursday next week to the NHL side, Wednesday, Thursday, see what we get. Wednesday is going to be the opener of the resume of NHL action.
Proud partner, Team USA.
Behind the Finns, the Swiss were able to capitalize in the first period. The Finns that second period started to open up, started to find some room behind the Swiss defenders. And they were able to get some shots on net, but when needed, Leonardo Giannoni has been there for the Swiss team, and it's hard to compete against goals like this. There's all the confidence in the world coming into this third period. But the Finns, it just takes one. They need to get the momentum back on their side. They certainly have shown that they can be the more dominant team, but they just haven't been able to solve the mystery that is Leonardo Giannoni.
You're an Olympics as well, and you're a three-time Olympian. There's some confidence in the being there before, and now he's realized, well, 20 minutes of putting ourselves into a semifinal and having a medal game of some description. So I think Leonardo Giannoni is just going for it on each and every shot that comes his way.
Well, can you imagine 38 years of age, and here he is in the Swiss net. We don't have Akira Schmid even dressed for the Swiss team, the Las Vegas Knights, only 25 years of age. We thought he was the starter for the Swiss coming into this Olympics. You know, he has proven his worth and certainly proven his mettle in this game.
we're going to get set for the start of the third period. Again, it just boggles my mind. I'm going to say this live for the reporter side, that all the analysis has been put in the surprise for not having Akira Schmid for Leonardo Giannoni. I think these guys are absolutely brain dead for that take. Again, to cover Giannoni in the Worlds, how good he was for the Swiss over 3 Olympics, a save percentage well in the high 900s. He's been absolutely dominant internationally. I don't think there was ever a question that he was going to be in the net. Right now, the Swiss, one more period away from putting themselves into a semifinal against the Finns. This would be the first upset, essentially, of the Olympics. Now, but again, as we said, coming into it, Finland scored 16 goals. 11 of them were against Italy. Their offense has been pretty much non-existent at this point through pool play. And now they got to try to get it done in this quarterfinal. They won their group, but it really wasn't much to say. You had Slovakia, Finland, and Sweden. But really, Finland's got to show a lot more, considering the only thing they don't have is one NHL defenseman. Everything else is NHL. You just had Juuse Saros, Kevin Lehkonen, and Jonas Korpisalo. Niko Mikkola now. They'll get tied up. Big hit. Mikkola finishes it off. That should be a cross-checking penalty against Nico Hischier. That was completely unneeded. Hischier is down as he's thankfully going to get back to his feet, but that's got to be called. That's numbers showing. Why are you throwing that hit there? That's inexcusable. So Niko Mikkola tried to win this puck battle. And as I say that, I think that was, I'm trying to make sure I get a number on it. My apologies. Let me go ahead and get a number here for the Finns. E2 Luostarinen with a very dangerous hit on Nico Hischier. I don't like that at all. That's dirty. That needs to at least be a minor. 2 minutes boarding is going to be the call. So that's at least what it should have been. And the Swiss will get another power play. That is not what's needed for Finland either. Not for that unnecessary hit, but then they'll also take another penalty as Nico Hischier takes a very heavy hit. But he is okay, thankfully. Again, he's the captaincy of the New Jersey Devils. They've had a rough year, but it's not Hischier's fault. Boarding call. And now here's a chance. We picked up off the right side of the glass. We'll have to start this one again. This will be flipped back down. Here will be a soft chase for Pius Suter. He got injured off that shot block earlier in the first, and then some incredible sequencing allowed the Swiss to score. We've seen a lot of that throughout this game. Dean Kukin will push this one up the ice. Again, he did a good job in the Worlds against the U.S. as well as Moser. We'll try to find this one back. This will fall back to Dean. And off the long pass for Giannoni. Kukin slows it down. He'll get off the ice. Roman Josi, get things nice, squared away. Nice move off the toe drag. Finds his way up the gut. Josi still stick handling. As this goes across too far for Riat. Flip back down the ice by the Finns. Giannoni, no problem to stop that 38-year-old. No stranger to being an overseas sensation in net. He has been as exceptional as they come and made a ton of money and across his career. Riat too far. Juuse Saros plays it, gives it almost right to the Swiss, and this will go back down the ice. Start again. And one more for Janis Moser. 35 seconds left to go, and another power play for the Swiss. Even if it is uneventful, as long as the Finns don't score, that would be what matters. Anton Lindell off the drop, and Giannoni, no problem. Gets that one into his glove off the shot from Esa Lindell. Anton Lindell and Esa Lindell combined there. It'll get an ozone draw. Finland's still a attacker behind on the disadvantage, but only for about 25 more seconds. Face-off tie-up. This will be won by the Swiss. Picked up now for Jonas Siegenthaler, another member of the New Jersey Devils. 15 seconds left to go on the power play. There's a drop pass from Dean Kukin. Allow Nino Niederreiter to ring this around the end boards for Esa Lindell of the Dallas Stars. Now to the right side boards, Joel Armia. Holds tie up there alongside Jaeger. Again, he's got the assist on the opening goal from the gaff from Juuse Saros. Back to full strength come the Finns. Cross ice feed easily read by the Swiss as Jaeger come all the way back. Take some changes on the fly for the Swiss. Still up 2-0. We covered both of those goals in the first. Ian Genge and I had to go to work. I'm going to close this one off and then finish out my plans and hopefully watch a little bit of USA Sweden on the phone. As this will be off the cross ice. Yuki Haru, his wrister gets blocked and the Swiss able to escape. At least across to center ice as Berchi get this one down. Picked up across the right bumper. Schmid. We'll see this one go off of Saros' blade. He tried to turn around, shot another save by Saros. Slap pass. Try to throw it toward the net. Anything that the Swiss can do to at least push this ahead and keep the scoreline where it is and still play defense. They look like they're nursing that 2-0 beautifully. Picked up on the backhand, and this one will be saved. Excellent work there. That was Timo Meier that threw it on. Again, he's so good internationally, more so, I think, than he ever played in the NHL in between the San Jose Sharks and now with the Devils. A lot of Swiss players on the New Jersey Devils. But a good play. He's kept on the outside. Just get the shot on net and force the draw. You don't have to do too much. You got the lead. Play it smart and get this victory. As looked like Mikkola might have clipped Saros unintentionally as he wanted to give a shove to Timo Meier.
Fire off the face-off, set play. And Timo Meier, 3 goals and 4 assists in the tournament.
All right.
They know if they get a third goal,
15:46 left to go in the third. John here with you on a solo call. It's still 2-0 Swiss. Appreciate you guys joining in and throughout. It's been a fun day so far. Another face-off win for the Swiss. We'll go back down the ice. This will be off the long flip. Opportunity to get recollected for Rasmus versus the line. Nico Mikkola is still out there as this will be flipped back in amongst the end boards. Opportunity off the spin. Glauser. Excellent work. Throws it down deep. Swiss. And off the spin and turn. Here's a good opportunity there. Picked up now off the outside of the cage. And now the left side wall. Erad will keep it in as this will be thrown down deep toward the right side bumper. Here's a spin and turn. Nico Hischier back out there after taking that heavy hit, but he popped right back up. In terms of E2 Luosterainen. Turnaround chance again. Deflected. And the Swiss content to keep it in. 5 minutes have expired from this third. They still lead 2-0. That's the way it's been from the first. Shotboard now starting to even up again. Finland had a lot of opportunities in the second, but it's 21-17. This play is blown dead behind the net because the puck didn't move enough. Roope and Hintz got tied up.
Where they want this puck to be with under 15 minutes left to play, up by 2. And such a suffocating defense that the Swiss do play. Frustrated Finns come back out on the ice, and Heiskanen, the time on ice leader for his team, also shots leader for his team. He does everything out there.
Jaeger will dig in against Anton.
Be an ozone draw on the left dot. And we'll have to do it again. 14:47 left in the third. John here with you now on a solo call. Ian Genge did join me for the last couple of days. And we will probably be joined either on a Friday semifinal or if not, certainly in the gold medal game. And that'll be a whole bunch of fun. As Alec Nava finally get a call in with him. It's been several months. Armia throws this back to Lindell. Slap shot, broken stick. As this goes in the right side corner. Armia now. And off the tie-up. Swiss still trying to hold that 2-0 lead as they get a new piece of lumber, does Finland, Miro Heiskanen. As Lindell loses it. Swiss no problem. Take this one from left to right a couple times from dot to dot. Beautiful passing to buy themselves some time. Kind of looks like the way Nick Edwards and I played through the NHL portion of the series. You got that lead, you killed the time out of the clock. Reverse hit, players run into each other. They just both lost an edge as this gets funneled back into Finland's corner. But when you got the lead, you got to play smart with the vulcanized rubber. They're doing that. Oli Mata. Left side red line gains it in Giannoni. No problem stopping it behind the crease. And a centering pass on the for Sebastian picked off. Right up the gut. Here's a spin and turn for Pius Suter. Suter now. Near the right side, Angrigetto throws it on up the outside of the cage. Juuse Saros stop that, and Finland trying to rush with Mikko Rantanen. Rantanen, he gets shoved off the puck. As this is nice play for Jonas Siegenthaler. Siegenthaler. Try to throw it up the gut now. Niko Mikkola in a Gloucester now, wins the battle, takes a big hit, does Bearchi, trying to get this near the right side of the glass. As this will be an opportunity now to get picked up for Kelvin Thrakoff. And this will go back to Swiss one more time. Barty's going to pick this one up off the second upper, chip it off the glass. Mikkola tried to press, but Finland got it on their own end. 12:50 left to go in the third. John, you're with you here In Rio Arena, Capocacco loses the puck. 2-0 Swiss still lead from the first. 12:35 left to go in the third. This would be the first big upset of the day. I wouldn't call it that in particular, but that's what the general public's going to give to you. As Kurashev wanted that puck out in front, it doesn't get there as it goes in behind the net of Saros. Capocacco now tried to pick this one up. Granlund will ship it off the wall. Granlund gets tied up, and I think they might take both of these guys off the ice. A little bit of a hold, you would have to think. Power play for Finland upcoming when we come back from break. They'll get a nice scrapage. Finland's got a score here. They're down 2-0. So power play for Finland comes almost halfway through the third.
New Pepsi Prebiotic Cola, the original and cherry vanilla. The Pepsi tastes you love with no artificial sweeteners. Unbelievably Pepsi. Try it now. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola. It as well, so they're going to recognize this happened. Here's a look at the penalty that Moser takes, and as Rantanen dumps and chases, he just tries to get past Moser, and Moser just kind of stands him up. I'm not sure what Rantanen's doing here as he's trying to bear hug and dance his way past Moser. Moser trying to say, Moser's trying to explain that wasn't me, that was Rantanen that created that, and it did look like he was trying to sell it a little bit, Rantanen, and he certainly had the refs fooled, and they're going to go on the power play thanks to some hard work by Rantanen.
So Roope Hintz trying to win an ozone draw. It's contested. Jonas Siegenthaler will hit it off the glass. 12:05 left to go in the third. Finland gets a power play. Shot board now almost dead even, 21-20. Swiss have had a good third here, and now they've got to get another power play penalty kill of Finland. And off the tie-up, Sebastian Aho has had a rough tournament here, I think, so far. I haven't really seen him do much of anything. 1:30 left to go in Finland's power play, but Finland really hasn't been all that great in full play. Again, those 16 goals, 11 of them against Italy. Here's a chance for Granlund. He breaks through and he misses the net on the backhand. This is still contested now. Mikko Rantanen, that would have been a power play goal. Settle it down for Heiskanen. Here's Mikko. Rister looking for the left side dot. Swiss block it as Heiskanen holds the left side line, high slot. Pick up now for Granlund. Learn the captaincy. Granlund. And off the lead for Heiskanen, and he does not hold the blue line. And Finland a little out of sorts there. A potential break. It bounced in off the inboards. It was friendly, and Giannoni waits it out and on the backhand. And that stopped Finland and Miro Heiskanen for being able to get a breakaway goal in the power play. So neutral zone draw win for Finland. Have to start again from their own ice. Again, they are in the all blue. The Swiss are in the white jerseys with the red striping and black pants. They got it shorthanded on the backhand now. Here's a chance that Saros has to come up large on as Ken Yeager tried to score shorthanded. 10:45 left to go in the third. Shot board even at 21 now. Rantanen runs into his man. More time for the Swiss. Try to tap it in past Saros. Makes the save. Two short-handed opportunities for the Swiss. But you say Saros with his biggest save of the game. And you're kind of wondering here what the Finns are thinking. Rantanen runs into Sebastian Aho in an attempt to get going. And there was a couple of shoves in at the net. that could have been exceedingly dangerous. I don't have a number 73 on the roster for Switzerland, so it must have been one of the call-ups. I apologize. It's going to force an ozone draw against Finland on their own power play. So Anton Lindell, he's going to have to win it. Swiss are doing everything they need to do in this game. They have completely dominated defensively, as this is now Esa Lindell of the Dallas Stars. Put this one for Joel Armia up the gut. Armia on his backhand will settle it back down. And when Joel Armia has been one of your best players for Finland, I'm not discrediting Joel Armia in his long NHL career, but that's telling you where the Finns probably are where they're supposed to be throughout this tournament. They're trying their way in the quarterfinals, but as I said, I think they've just only really played well against one team when you score double-digit goals. 10:06 left to go in the third. John Under with you on a solo call. And Rio Reno and Milano Cortina. 2-0 Swiss. It's been that way from the first. Your goal scorers, let me give those to you one more time, and just in case you're joining late. Damian Riat off the brutal giveaway from Juuse Saros. Ken Yeager gets an assist. And then Nino Niederreiter off the one-timer set up for Andrea Glosser. And that's still where we were from the first. We're past the halfway marker of the third. This will be settled in. It's been a defensive masterclass for the Swiss. That is what they're so good at. As Eric Halla will throw this one back down. Halla now ribbon around the end boards. As this will be picked up there. Kurashev gets it out to Eli Tolvanen. Tolvanen, Rasmus Ristolainen. He'll play catch. Here is an opportunity. Mikkola will watch this one go back in. Timo Teravainen goes to give chase. Teravainen off the tie-up. Eli Tolvanen. This one thrown in front, but it's right to the Swiss one more time. They are there every time in the middle of the slot to keep it clean. That's exactly what you want. Perfect defensive positioning. Filip Kurashev takes a hit, and Nino Niederreiter was having a stick held. He can't get back into the play as it's picked up now for Eetu Luostarinen. Put it into the corner. And off the outside of the cage. Picked up now by the Finns. They're in desperation mode. Play at the net, and Giannoni makes another save. And the Swiss really want to make sure to keep their 38-year-old netminder clean. Lindell now in with a little bit of a tie-up. We will take a break. It's still 2-0 Swiss.
Possession. Shots are 22-22 now as the Swiss still continue to lead 2-0. Entering the zone difficult for the Finns. This time, with a little touch pass at the blue line opens up space. That's what they're going to have to continue to do is find some space behind the defenders of the Swiss. Here's Heiskanen, the Finland defender, joining in on the play. And then Heiskanen just an errant little pass back to his two forwards that were playing D at the power play, and an opportunity at the other end for the Swiss. Schmid tries to just jam this right in past Saros, but he keeps his pad down low. The bottom of the net blocked, and even if they didn't score, the penalty kill was super successful for the Swiss. They had two good opportunities, two good looks at net, and more importantly, prevented the Finns from getting any real good opportunities. The best one was that one by Heiskanen.
Checking back into the action, 8:51 left to go in the third. Face-offs 29-46 for the Swiss. They definitely have that advantage. They still have a 2-0 scoreboard lead with 8:40 left to go in the third. This one across the bumper. Slowed down now for the Swiss, content to throw it in. Their defensive lock and key has continued from that first Finland tried to press in the second, couldn't score, and we're not seeing much of that in the third despite getting a power play over the last couple of minutes. Nicely off the left side glass. Swiss at least get this to the left side blue line. Aho on the forecheck. He's tied up and near the left side bumper with a little bit of a hook there. Mikko Rantanen now has this one going to the right side corner. Glosser with an attempt to get it out. Rantanen still in that same spot as the time continues to be killed here. 7:50 left to go in the third. The Swiss can sense the moment, and they've been able to do that since getting a couple goals in the first. Nino Niederreiter with the latest. And off the drop, Granlund shoots Giannoni. That goes off his stick and then wide. Now to the right side, high slot. Mr. Giannoni closes the 5-hole. Makes that look easy. 7:30 left to go in the third. He is so calm, cool, and collected. Again, multiple Olympics for him, 38 years of age, a dominating international career where he's made tons of money. He is just so steady in the crease. You don't see him move all that much. He meets, makes a save. It kind of feels like a skeleton practice, right? Like you just take the machine, the shot comes, you make your save, you move on. You get your positioning, and you repeat that same motion. That's what I'm seeing from someone like him. This is one. Back to Nico Mikkola, who can't hold. 7:20 left to go in the third. Joining me with you from Rio Arena. Watching this one from Milano Cortina. Olympics back in action. We're getting into the medal rounds. This is the quarterfinals. Again, we had playoff qualifications yesterday, and the Swiss trying to keep their season alive. They were able to win yesterday. Now their reward is playing Finland, and they're trying to knock them off as well off their back-to-back. Roope Hintz. And on the tie-up, as this is lifted away, gloved down by Nico Mikkola near the left side blue line. It was pushed to center ice. And I love the way that every time Switzerland gets the puck, they always start back with a first pass back to defense as Finland's backing off just to be able to kill a little bit more time before they press up the ice. Very smart management of the puck. Now toward the right side red line as this one's flipped in off the chip and chase. It'll be Anton Lindell looking to find it. And off the tie-up for Joel Armia. Here is a partial mistake in behind the net, but easily cleaned up by Jonas Siegenthaler and flipped back down the ice to Anton Lindell. Lindell, E2 Lusterinen. Flip ends, right side dot. Finland's got to shoot. They score! Sebastian Aho finally gets Finland on the board, and it's 2-1. We'll see who this is assisted for. It is E2 Lusterinen going to get the assist. Finland finally gets on the board from Lusterinen and Heiskanen. It's 2-1. Swiss still lead. 5:50 left to go in the third. As this will be a hellacious press now. Finland's got to get some energy out of this. Here come the Swiss. And at least now with a 1-goal lead, I don't think the Swiss can afford to play all defense as they've been able to do throughout most of this. Finally going to have to make a press out of a little bit of a shell. But 2-1. We'll take a break.
Sebastian Aho wearing an A on his jersey, and that's what you want from your leadership. Taking the team on his shoulders, and what the Finns needed to do was to go to find some inside space. And how they did that was nice little zone entry, east to west pass, finding some open space, and you're right, just nice little the hardest spot for a goalie to make a save is right under that blocker. And just sharpshooter Sebastian will able to find it. Sebastian as he drives the net, just does a little fake to the middle.
2-1 now. Your score line will get you reset.
The Finnish fans are now into the steam. This is huge. 5:40 left to go and down by just a goal in this quarterfinal. Milano Cortina 2026.
Nico Hischier going to get set to take the draw. As we're going to get set for the final 5 minutes, going to have to do this one more time near that same circle of the left dot. 5:40 left to go in the third. Finland leads on the shot board 25-22. Swiss have had a good attack from the first and the third. Finland's attack in the second was met with nothing. They finally get one now off of a flip ice from right to left. Sebastian Aho, a little bit of a short side chance, beats Giannone. High slot. Janis Moser hits the glass, and Juuse Saros. Here's it bounce off the backboards. He will have to hold in the glove hand. Saros only given up a couple of goals, but you think Finland's got to score more than probably get at least 3 in order to win this game. That's what they would need now to actually win it. 5:28 left to go in the third. Swiss fans enjoying themselves right now, as they should, because the semifinals could be on the line as early as Friday. I think they would have the early slot. As far as the Olympic pairings that I had put together, I believe that would be set for 10:40 a.m., depending on where the things get reseeded once we get reseeded on Friday, and depending on if the U.S. beat Sweden or not, because Czechia made it close against Canada in that 4-3 result in OT. Ristolainen, and off the tie-up. Jaeger lost it. Now it's Mikael Granlund. Finland looking to push to tie this game. Granlund will make the back pass. Roope Hintz off the outside of the crossbar. As this is picked up now, turn around, and the Swiss are there to clean it up. Janis Moser hit this one off the glass. No problem there with the help of Roman Josi. Nice pickup here right across center ice. Rister, Moser, shot, rebound, and behind the net now of Juuse Saros. Good long flip pass, but this will be picked up here. Glasser going to go back with Dean Kukin. 4:25 left to go in the third. This is turned over. Aho steals, and this worked in behind the net. Start one more time. Kukin. He's scrambling a little bit as this goes toward the right side blue line. Finland with it. As Lindell sets up the 1T. Giannone fights it off. 4:05 left to go in the third. Sebastian Aho put it in the corner. Slap pass. And Tom Lindell of the Florida Panthers. Not Aho, who just scored the latest goal. Heiskanen, shot. Initially defected. Heiskanen drives. Centered out in front. It's Aho with an extra pass. Lindell sets up the 1T, and the Swiss funnel it. Good stop there at the line for Heiskanen, and one more finally gets out to center ice. And Tom Lindell. Swiss can't get off the ice to change. They've got to be gassed. Giannone will play it with the stick blade, and this will get out across the right side blue line. Swiss still can't change here. Heiskanen off the drop for Mikko Rantanen. And now they're going to have to do so on the fly. 3:15 left to go in the third. Played up and off the backhand. Hischier tries to help with Jaeger. Jaeger wraparound. And this one is fought off. Luostarinen going to pick it back up, play some defense in his own end. 3 minutes left to go in Finland's Olympic season. They're still down 2-1 to the Swiss. Here is a chance now for Olli Maatta. Off the tip. Swiss pick it up. Glosser's got it. Long flip. Settle back down for Yuki Haru. Yuki Haru will spin. 2:40 left to go in the third. Got to start from his own end, the all-blue Sumi squad. Still down 2-1. The only goal of the third is Sebastian Aho. Granlund up the gut. Wrister! Oh, Giannone fights it off. His best save of the game. Now to the right side up the rush. Granlund! And Giannone's got it in the glove. 2 sparkling saves for Leonardo Giannone. 2:27 left to go in the third. Roope Hintz in tight. Off the bar and off the shoulder of Giannone's second crossbar that we've seen from the second now in the third. And then Granlund beats 5 Swiss up the gut, fights off the first one, does Giannone. And then the other one, we're going to see right here, chance in front. Stopped.
Finland defeated Switzerland 5-4 in the quarterfinals in Beijing 2022. Much tighter affair here in Beijing, Switzerland with 2:27 remaining.
Well, if you read that before, that the Swiss coach was showing to his team, he was telling them, make sure you get out and close that gap, get right on the player, don't allow him to get shots like Rantanen does. He looked at that coach's board.
Finland takes a timeout. 2:27 left.
Make sure you realize they're going to play man on man here at the end.
Saros is on the bench. They're all in. They're going 6-on-5 here. Goalie pulled for the extra attacker.
Juuse Saros is at the bench. Swiss still lead 2-1. Finland needs a goal. As this will be looped back down. Sebastian Aho, the only one of the third. He's got the puck in behind the net, but the net is gaping. 6-on-5 extra attacker. Finland's Olympic season's on the line now. 2:10 left to go in the third. As this is sent in. Left side red line, 6-on-5. Swiss still trying to nurse that 2-1 off the outside of the cage. And Giannone sees it. He'll hold near the left post. So it'll be another ozone draw upcoming for the Finns, who are down a goal and need one more to at least tie and force OT. Sebastian Aho was the one that gave chase, number 20. He's got the latest goal. Juuse Saros at the bench. Face-off loss for the Swiss. Bad time for that. Miro, Heiskanen, Granlund to the traffic. This one high. It's kept in. Heiskanen just holds the right bumper. Right side dot. Give from Rantanen to Heiskanen. Back to Mikko now. 1:40 left to go in Finland's season. Down 2-1. Here's a chance. Oh, it was that loose in front of the net for Granlund, but he couldn't get a stick on it. Now to the left side red line. 90 seconds left to go in the Olympic season for Finland. This is played in the corner. Lost between some skate blades and the refs. Blow it dead. That stinks for the Swiss because they wanted to keep the clock moving. Timo Meier was underneath just trying to kill as much time as he could. And now he's barking to the Zebras saying, hey, that puck was moving enough. They're just trying to hold on here in this final 86 seconds. John, out here with you. We were covering this one in its entirety. We had to jump in between Canada-Czechia as that one went to OT. Finland trying to win it, and we'll see what they can do. This is off the long flip. Picked up now right side dot. Finland got it. They need a goal. Backhand. Here's a pass. Scores! We're tied! 2-2. And overtime might be looming again. Switzerland was holding a 2-0 lead up until this third period. Giannone gets beat. 1:12 left in the third. Heiskanen with the pass across and a open shot. Miro Heiskanen lets it fly. It goes off the blade of Artturi Lehkonen. He's going to get the goal. Are we going to be covering 2 OT games? Lehkonen from Heiskanen and Hintz off the deflection. No chance for Giannoni there. And now the Swiss need a goal. And with a 3-on-3 looming in this OT, you would think the Finns have a huge advantage as this one goes off the outside of Saros. We'll see if they can finish it 5-on-5, though. A couple goals in the third period for the Finns. At least try to avoid any sort of upset right now, but it was all their offense late, the final 6 minutes for Aho, and now in the OT. It is Lindell and behind the net. Shot board 30-23 for the Finns. They scored twice in the third. Aho, his chance deflected. We'll throw it off the outside of the cage. 24 seconds left to go in the third as this will get picked back up. Hischier, throw it down the ice. This was play with a high stick, but no problem. This goes back down to Rasmus Ristolainen. 5 seconds left to go in the third. Finland has just tied it. Artturi Lehkonen gets the stick play deflection off of Miro Heiskanen, and we're going to go to OT.
Well, here's a look at the goal. It goes off Siegenthaler's stick in front, but heroic effort by Lehkonen to get inside position and cause it to go off the stick of Siegenthaler. It's not able to find much inside.
So they're going to give it to
And they're able to capitalize.
Overtime coming up. Atlanta Row Ice Hockey Arena spot in the semifinals up for grabs.
thought that they were going to give it to Artturi Lehkonen. It's going to go off Heiskanen. It's an initial shot that bounces off, so Heiskanen's going to get credit for it. Heiskanen from Roope Hintz. And Mikko Rantanen.
All we got to see is
So we got the 2 best games. I know you had Czechia, Canada, but the 2 best games were the last 2 days. Playoff qualifiers, a 1-goal game, and now an OT. I knew these ones were going to be tight. These are the ones that's why I wanted to go ahead and cover. Should be able to go ahead and do this quickly before we get into the play-by-play.
Emotional high for the Swiss. They thought they were so close to heading to the semifinals. A late goal usually has a momentum swing into the favor of the team that just scored, but we got to the Swiss coach, Patrick Fischer, to remotivate his troops. They were able to find the back of the net twice in that first period, and see if they can do that again in overtime. But they still have something to say about that. They have all the momentum in the world, scoring 2 goals in that third period, and they are certainly flying high into this overtime.
Two as we begin the OT between Finland and Switzerland. Picked up now for Aho on his backhand. Couple of third period goals to tell you about. That's why we sit where we are right now. Switzerland had a 2-0 lead that lasted until the third period. They were up 2-0 all the way through the second period as well from the first. 30-23 on the shot board. Roope Hintz. Now for Mikael Granlund. And off the drop pass, 3-on-3 is the OT, and you would think this is where Finland's got the biggest advantage. Granlund. Nice move on his backhand. He's falling down, trying to make a shot. Can't do so, as it's Janis Moser. We'll go the other way now for Philip Kurashev, San Jose Shark. Kurashev shoots, and this one will get deflected away from Saros and back down the ice to the Swiss. 8:45 left to go in the OT. Should we need it all, then we'll go to a shootout. Long breakout for the Swiss. They are in the red jerseys with the white stud and black pants. Picked up now, Aggregato will get taken away, as this will be picked up now for Anton Lindell. Got Niko Mikkola with them on the rush. Good reverse hit. This is going to create a 2-on-1 for the Swiss. Pius Suter, cross pass, and this one deflected nicely. And now Anton Lindell has got it in his own end. See if Finland slows it down. They will take their changes. 8 minutes left to go in the OT. Should we need it all? John and I with you. We covered a couple OTs today. Miro Heiskanen has it. Now for Mikko Rantanen. Rantanen finds it. Drops it across for Aho. Rantanen looking for Aho, cutting to the net. And this one is taken away by the Swiss. As this will be settled back down for Nico Hischier. Hischier now will get it back. Looking for a long outstretched pass. Got on the backhand. Schmid lost it for a moment. Again, the forward side, not Akira Schmid. As this is forecheck race for Schmid, but Miro Heiskanen, who's got the latest, got a goal and assist in that third period, is tied at 2. Otherwise, Finland would have went home. But now, whoever wins this goes to the semifinals. Probably going to get the early time slot. We'll see. Granlund, the captaincy for Finland. On his backhand on a 1-on-3, buys the space. Now for Lindell, back to Granlund. Finnish Mafia, the Dallas Stars, was out there. As it's Granlund. Outstretched there for Roope Hintz. He's onside his back pass. Goes all the way back down. That's where Juuse Saros is. And start it one more time. Good avoidance of a hit there, as it's Lindell to Anton Lindell. Up the gut. Lehkonen scores! Breakaway! Overtime game winner! And Artturi Lehkonen thought he had the second. This time he got the third. Finland goes to the semifinals. That's going to make the U.S.'s road that much tougher because they got Sweden a little bit later today. Finland comes all the way back. They score 3 unanswered goals, and they beat the Swiss 3-2. What a day of hockey we had. I apologize I can't cover USA Sweden, but we got 2 overtime games covered, probably the closest ones that we're going to get. I'll see you Friday for a semifinal. If the U.S. wins, it'll be 3:10. If not, it'll be 10:40 in the morning. See you. We'll see you guys Friday for the semis. You take care, okay? What a game that was. Finland wins 3-2. 3 unanswered. Let me just mark this down. That's what happens when you play Olympics and you get to OT as far as these games. You got certain countries and nations that have such a big advantage as far as the amount of talent that they have. And when Canada gets to OT, when Finland gets to OT against the opponents, probably going to be curtains. And that's what ended up happening. I'll see you guys Friday.